Hi folks, and welcome back to Math with Captain Rod. I'm making this video here to help you out with how to complete the square. So we're going to look at a couple of examples here, and they're relatively simple examples. I don't want it to get too I don't like to use too tough examples when I'm first demonstrating concepts here. So we're going to start with this guy. We're going to solve this equation: x squared minus 6x minus 27 equals 0. And first of all, just generically, let's talk about, the type of equation. This thing's quadratic because it's second power here. There's a couple different methods here to solve these. You've got factoring. You've got the quadratic formula. And you've got completing the square. Okay. The reason I'm starting with this is that for two of these, if you're going to solve it by factoring or by the quadratic formula, you want the 0 on one side. However, when you complete the square, it's very common to take the constant, put it over on the right-hand side. So the first thing we're going to do here is write this: x squared minus 6x equals 27. Now you'll notice I left myself a little space here. And that's because the idea behind completing the square is figuring out what can we add to this thing to turn it into a perfect square. Now you'll notice that, think about how the FOIL method works. The idea is that we're trying to write this like x minus something and x minus something. And I know that it's minus because of this guy right here. Remember that the last term has to give you this, whatever goes here, and the outer and inner terms have to give you this thing. Now because of this, these have to be 3's. So, because when you look at how the FOIL method works, minus 3x, there's your minus 6x. Now the last term we need to match as well. The last term is now plus 9, so I'm going to go ahead and put plus 9 here. And if you add 9 to one side to maintain equality, you have to add 9 to the other side. So what we've done is by adding 9, we have designed this thing to factor into x minus 3, the quantity squared. Right now, you're always going to take half of whatever this is, square it, add it to both sides. So that's basically where that 9's coming from. Take the number in front of the x. Now whether you say it's negative 6 or positive 6 doesn't really matter, because when you cut it in half, you're either going to get 3 or negative 3, but when you square it, you're going to get plus 9. So you take half of this guy, square it, add it to both sides. Right? Then this will now be a perfect square. Right-hand side equals, let's see, when we add these together, 27 and 9, let's see, 36, I believe. Next step. Now we square root both sides. But keep in mind that this equation has two solutions. It could be 6 or negative 6, because negative 6 squared is also 36. So when you take the square root of both sides here, really it's plus or minus 6. And then we'll add 3 to both sides. So x is going to equal 3 plus or minus 6. So 3 plus 6 is 9. And 3 minus 6 is minus 3. And I have to check my phone here, if you'll just excuse me a moment.